So, it's been a little over a year since I uploaded anything related to gacha games to this channel, and even longer since I've uploaded videos about Reverse 1999 to the channel. Despite this, I'll still regularly get comments on my shorts or my videos, even though I haven't uploaded a single piece of Reverse 1999 content since May of 2024. So, what happened? Where did I go? And why am I hungry? Oh, it's because it's 12 PM and I haven't eaten. Okay, one sec, don't start the video without me. So, the story for this game is good, probably. I say that because everyone around me seems to have been super invested in the story and was hanging on every single word of each and every chapter. Now, keen listeners may have heard that I ended my earlier sentence with the word probably. And that's mainly because of one teeny tiny problem. Reverse 1999 story is so convoluted and written in such a confusing way that at no point was I able to fully comprehend what was happening in the story. Now, between my main account, my Nuzlocke runs, and several other videos that I never got to publish, I have played through the prologue of the game maybe 5 or 6 times, but never once was I able to fully grasp what was happening during the entire prologue of the game. And this issue persisted throughout my entire playthrough. Not once did I feel the payoff of a huge story moment or the catharsis of beating a major villain, simply because I had no fucking idea what was going on. Now, does this mean I'm stupid and I'm slightly dense when it comes to media comprehension? Wait, don't answer that question. Whenever an issue like this comes up, my first instinct is always to assume that I am the problem, probably due to low self-esteem. So to test whether or not my reading comprehension had suddenly regressed to that of a toddler, I went out to my local bookstore and picked up a book and began reading. Nearly 400 pages and a few tears later, I could safely say that my reading comprehension was still intact. So I reopened the game and tried to reread the story. It didn't help. I still had no idea what the fuck was happening. This has been a known issue with the game ever since it launched, and the devs promised that they would address it all the way back in their second patch, but I haven't felt any real significant change to how convoluted the writing could be. Now, this would be fine if the game didn't place such a significance on their narrative. However, there are entire stages of events that purely focus on the narrative and nothing else. And these stages are dense with dialogue too. So if you're not invested in the story or simply can't understand what they're saying, you're missing out on a lot of the experience. You could simply do what I did and but then you're losing out on the story, the cutscenes, and the characterization of the new banner characters that you'll inevitably drop $50 to pull for. Let's take the anniversary patch Variant for example. This was supposed to be the patch that ended the storyline that had been continuously building for a year. It was supposed to be the culmination of Verton's group, Kakanyan's group, and the St. Pavlov's research facility as they scrambled to find a potential incantation to finally ward off the storm. A conclusive finale to everything the game's story had been building to since its release. So I sat down and played through the entire patch. I witnessed Sophia's number finally being revealed. I witnessed a Paron and almost all of its inhabitants willingly get reversed. And I even bombed a beach in Northern California. And even after all of that, I felt nothing. It doesn't matter how cinematic or interesting these characters were, all of that excitement would leave me when I had to read lines like this. I want to preface that this point is more of a nitpick than anything, so take this next part with a grain of salt. Reverse 1999 is a gacha game. Wow, shocker. And ultimately, their end goal is to sell you the idea of collecting a character. They'll push them into event stories with them at the forefront, market their kit on social media, and even create whole ass EPs that will never be in the game but are on their YouTube channels and we have to go out of our way to find them instead of just including them in the game, and please just compile them into the game. The point is that they want you to get really invested in the idea of collecting these characters so that you can spend your hard-earned to roll and hopefully pull them. The game started with a good mix of weird and pretty characters, about like a 50-50 ratio, and for a while they continued this trend with characters like Pickles, who's a hyper-intelligent dog who can speak through a collar.
The puppy thinks the TV is disturbing his reading time.
And A Knight, who is Knight. Now, most of these more bizarre character designs are reserved for lower rarity characters in the game. Anywhere from 2 stars to 5 stars is fair game. And these designs get really out there, like Door and Alien T. Is that a fucking cow? But now we're at a point where there are more 6 stars in the game than 5 stars, and since most of these 6-star designs are less bizarre and more traditional anime characters, they feel less and less unique with each release. To me, looking at the list of new characters that have come out since I left feels like a hazy cloud. You can almost make out different parts of them, but as a whole, it just feels kinda samey. Now, like I said, this is more of a nitpick than anything and doesn't really need to be addressed, since for those playing the game, this is probably a non-issue and you could probably tell them apart pretty easily. I just personally would like to see more and more bizarre and out there character design choices, especially since so many other gacha games already follow a similar design philosophy of pretty anime characters. But I understand, this is a business and you gotta cater to what sells well. And if that's more characters like Lucy or Sold instead of Miss Radio or Ulu, and so be it. For me, it's just another reason why I haven't come back to the game. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Doku, you can auto 90% of this game's content. Why is there a section about the grind of the game? And to that I say, yes, you're right. But when it takes my entire stamina bar to maybe get one item I need to deepen the insight of one character, I think there's definitely an issue that has to be addressed. These late stage insight materials can be crafted. Yes, that's true, but it costs so much resources to even get there, and by the time I finally deepen their insight, I've already burned all of my stamina and all of my stamina refreshing items. Of course, there's always the alternative of spending the currency in the shop which you get from rolling characters, but who wants to do that when you can just buy more poles, right? Also, the sheer amount of game modes you now have to grind makes this game feel like a full-time job. Artificial somnambulism, PsyQ mission dailies, character side stories, event shops every patch, Utu every second half of the patch, mains bulletin, not to mention the side game modes like the new roguelike mode and a fucking puzzle mode. There's just too much to do to constantly keep progressing your account, and by the end it felt like I was doing chores rather than engaging in interesting content. Keep in mind, this is after 1 year of the game's release. I can't imagine how much more grinding will be added to the game with more time. I know with all the criticisms, this video feels overtly negative, but I just want to be abundantly clear and say that I have nothing but love for this game. I fell in love with the art direction, the music, the setting, and the ways characters spoke in their own native language. I genuinely enjoyed this game so much that I started my YouTube channel making content solely about the game. But I haven't played the game since the anniversary patch, and I don't plan on coming back. And that's okay. It's not any fault of the game's, it just means that this chapter of content creation is done. The dev teams of Reverse 1999 continues to put out new game modes, content, and quality of life changes, and it seems like they genuinely care about the community and the feedback they give. From what I've been told, they've gone back and reworked existing characters kits through a system called Euphoria. Not sure what that is, but this seems rather extensive. If you guys continue to enjoy the game, more power to you. As for me, this is my last piece of Reverse 1999 content in at least a very long time, or possibly forever. Thank you to all the amazing friends I met through Reverse 1999. Thank you to Reverse 1999 for inspiring me to start my YouTube journey. And lastly, and most importantly, thank you to you guys for supporting me and watching my videos. I'm not really sure what I'll be doing with this YouTube channel now. I guess we'll have to see. But until then, I guess I'll see you around. Bye!